Welcome to War Thunder with Subdued. How y'all doing today? Well, it's been an extremely frustrating evening trying to get a match that's worth flying. I have a lot of different planes that I like to fly, and right now I'm trying to spade some of my Tier 5 and one Tier 6 aircraft. And one of them I'm flying just because I make good points with it when I get the opportunity to fly with it. And when I say points, I'm talking about Silver Lions. The problem I've been having is the matches, like this one. There is zero value in this mission for an unspaded aircraft. And the reason there's zero value for an unspaded aircraft is because it's team deathmatch. There's no ground targets worth attacking. There really isn't a mission. And that's the problem. With no mission, there's no value in flying. Basically, it's go up and shoot at each other because you're stupid for buying into this pathetic excuse of a match. And that's exactly what it is. A pathetic excuse for a match. Now, it's not a bad match for Tier 2, Tier 3, some Tier 4. But when you're talking Tier 5 and Tier 6, it's just plain pathetic. Now, I realize that you guys that do the air-to-air bull think that you're hot shots and you got it licked. You can win this match. But there's no reason to fly it. Here's another one. Tier 5 and Tier 6 aircraft, this is absolute garbage. Why? Well, here's an airfield, right here, and here's an airfield. And where are they pointed? Directly at one another. Where are all the ground targets? Directly between them. Why bother? Why bother? And most of them, pillboxes. On this side, on the red side, mostly tanks. Worthless. Absolutely worthless. You don't have a reason to even fly missions like that. Oh, we've cleared up my American lineup. Let's take off and see what we can find for my Tier 6 fighter, which I'm just trying to finish spading. It's a good plane. I like it, but I really don't like flying air-to-air combat. I think that is an absolute waste for this plane, because that's not what it's for. It's an all-arounder. Also, instead of having just the 4 sidewinders, there should be an option to have the 4 sidewinders and a couple of 750-pound bombs slung under each wing. Now, I know that some of you purists out there are going to be like, well, why would you want bombs on a fighter? It doesn't make sense. Well, obviously, you're probably playing the wrong game. And Gaijin really does need to pull its head out of the sand and start making true combined arms battles. Give them 16 tankers, even 10 tankers, and 10 fighters, aircraft, 10 aviation pilots, and let them go in combined battles. And if it's done right on a map that is reasonably sized, well, maybe something good will come of it. And here's another case of wasted map. Again, this wouldn't be bad for Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4. And this right here, this map glitch, which doesn't work, needs to get fixed. I can't tell you the number of times I've just dumped out of a match tonight because the matches are, let's be honest, they're shit. They have zero value. And it's going to take me forever to grind anything, because grinding things is going to take, if the mission isn't worth flying, why bother? Why bother? I'm not going to fly a stock airplane or a semi-stock airplane or even a spaded airplane into a mission that is absolutely junk. And every mission so far tonight has been nothing but small and medium-sized maps with no value. Nothing. Nada. Zip. Garbage. Worthless. Garbage has more value than these missions because garbage at least can be burned for energy. Here's another one that's absolutely useless. Yeah, I could take the Votour in and kill a couple of bases, maybe even strafe a ground target or two on my way back home, but I'm not going to waste my time. Because 90% of the time, the red team ends up base camping. Now, some of you people might be saying, well, they've got to do that, otherwise you might land and then start jaying out. Oh, bull. Bull. They just can't shoot straight, don't know how to dogfight, and end up base camping because it's easy to hit a target that isn't moving. And then they get full credit for shooting him down. Yeah. Bullshit. Bullshit. Seriously. That is bull. They need to drop that value. They need to make it no better than taking out a AAA installation or a truck. Because when an airplane is on the ground, stopped at the airfield, what do you have? A prime target. Now, the people that jump out and jump back in, playing the J out game, they're scum. They are absolute scum. And they shouldn't even be allowed to play the game anymore. Or the mechanic of Jing out on the airfield should be limited to one time only. You can J out to change your ornament, but the minute you log back into the match, you're stuck in the match until you take off and land again, and then you can J out one more time to change your armament. But this constantly being able to J out on the airfield to protect your airplane is garbage. Like I said, shooting a plane that's on the runway should give the shooter the amount of experience points and silver of shooting a truck, because the plane cannot defend itself. It isn't flying. It's probably without any bullets, so it couldn't shoot back if it wanted to. And it's not moving. It's a stationary target, or one moving so slow that it may as well be stationary, especially at Tier 5 and 6. Now, basically this rant is about Gaijin not doing their job. They really aren't. They have completely given up on giving decent missions to Air Realistic. I don't know why. I don't know what their motivation is. Drive people towards tanks, tanks, tanks. Oh my God, tanks, tanks, tanks. Worthless, worthless, worthless. I'm sorry, you can cheat at tanks. You cannot cheat at Air Realistic, other than that runway jaying out bull. Which, like I said, those players are scum. If I jay out while I'm on the runway, it's to either change armament or I'm done with the match. And 90% of the time, I'm done with the match. I don't like what they've not been doing. 6 years. 6 bloody years that Gaijin has been doing this to Air Realistic. The same old stupid formula. And it's like they do not care. They really just do not care. And they ignore the questions when they're asked. When are you going to fix Air Realistic battles? They ignore all of those questions. Now, some of you might be going, well, they've given us new maps, which are absolutely useless. There is only one, possibly 2 maps that are worth actually flying. And there's only one that's actually worth flying for both teams. And that's the sad thing. They don't care. They don't care. Yay! A map that really wouldn't be bad, but it sucks. This is a pure fighter. I'm not going up to engage in air-to-air combat because the plane's not spaded. And I have no way of spading it if I keep getting shot down, because I can't keep up with the other planes. I can't maneuver with the other planes. I can't use that map. Now, I would use it with the Voiture. I would use it with the F-100. And the reason I would use it with both of those is because they carry the type of ordnance that I can actually take out a couple of bases and go back and land. And they're fast enough to actually be able to do this. This plane has no secondary attack function. I love this plane. I think it's a great, grand, and glorious plane. The problem is no secondary attack function. And Gaijin has absolutely no interest in giving us a plane that has a secondary attack function at high tier for Britain. And don't even get me started on the Seahawk. I like the Seahawk. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of the Seahawk. But it's not a plane that should be where it is. I was on the dev server. I don't remember what it was right off the top of my head. I think it was like 8.7, when it probably would be better off at a 7.7. The G91. Love this plane. Love this plane. I've loved this plane for a long time. I do not like the 450 cals. They don't hit hard enough to take things out of the air decisively quickly. That's not to say they're bad guns. That's to say that they do not kill insta-kill. G91 Pre. Love this plane too. I flew it a lot. I spaded it. The problem with this plane is it's too fragile. It destroys itself at high speed. Something that doesn't happen with this plane, but you still get the overspeed warning. France has only got one plane that's worth flying at Tier 5 and Tier 6. Well, I don't know about Tier 6 yet because I haven't got the Super Mystere. The Super Mystere might be worthwhile. It actually has a secondary attack function. Gee, go figure. But this plane has a secondary attack function too. It carries bombs and rockets. And it's got 4 30mm cannons. I think the ammo count is off by being low, but hey, you know, you deal with what you've got. The problem is Gaijin is not interested in players of air realistic anymore. They would just as soon we stop playing air realistic and start playing tanks or ships. Can't tell you how utterly stupid that sort of thinking is. Yeah, there's a lot of tank players out there. I'm sure there are a lot of old World of Tanks players playing ground forces in War Thunder. Because ground forces in War Thunder are head and shoulders above World of Tanks. I've played World of Tanks. I played it for about 1 week and then just put it away and erased it from my hard drive. I hated it. It was pure, unadulterated garbage. That was years ago. And from what I've seen, watching various videos like Jingles, it hasn't changed a bit. It's still garbage. But ground forces used to be pretty good. And then people figured out how to cheat in the game. And it hasn't gotten any better. The cheaters are there. And I won't play ground forces. I know people at Gaijin like, you can't cheat at this. It's impossible. Well, where do all these bans come from? And they really don't tell you what they were banned for. And I will bet you all of them were banned in ground forces. Tell us which ones, what mode of game they were banned from playing for. In ships, you got to see the ship to shoot it. And, gee, being on the water makes it pretty easy to spot them. In air, you have to be able to see them, although the spotting system has gotten crap. The spotting system in Air Realistic is crap right now. It really needs a serious overhaul. Now, it's probably due to latency in the networks. Somebody can pop up out of nowhere because they know where they are, their computer knows where they are, they're flying on the map, and then the map finally updates and gives you an idea. Oh, there's a guy right behind me. Oh, those tracers I see coming over my shoulder, where is the plane? I turn around and look, and there's nothing there. And then, all of a sudden, bink, he pops into existence. Yeah, this is a detection issue. This is a latency issue in the network. That's something the engineers at Gaijin need to get their heads wrapped around and fix quickly. It doesn't as effective in low tier prop planes. Prop planes are much slower. In jets, it's an issue. It's a serious issue. When I'm playing jets, I turn off the EU server. And I only play on the American server because that's the lowest latency I have. But again, let's get back to what started all of this. Maps and missions. Quit putting Tier 5 and Tier 6 planes on medium and small maps. Putting this plane on Malta. Malta! What sort of stupid is involved in that one? Especially the one where it's coming in off the ocean to bomb targets in preparation for landings. What? Where's he going to go to rearm? Huh? No. This is stupid on steroids. Gaijin is being lazy. Completely lazy. They have not done their job. They are ruining the game at the expense of their players. I buy gold. I buy premium time. I buy planes that I find to be worthwhile. I do not buy tanks. I do not buy ships. I do not buy helicopters. I have bought ships, I have bought helicopters, and I have bought tanks. I will never be buying any of those again. Now, if you don't understand that, well, that's your business. I will not spend money on something that I cannot even fathom the use of. And it's not that I don't understand how ships work. I don't understand why we have little arcade maps. And that's all they are. Even if you say we're playing realistic battles, they're not realistic maps. They're junk. They came straight out of World of Warships. That's how bad they are. World of Warships actually has a better grasp of the size of the map compared to the ship than War Thunder. In War Thunder, you've got PT boats jammed in with destroyers and cruisers, and you expect it to work. It's not going to work. Now, I don't mind the PT boats going in against destroyers and cruisers. Here's the problem. The maps are garbage. The idea that you're capturing a zone is so, oh my God, what sort of garbage is this? You cannot capture a piece of ocean. It doesn't work like that. That is a mechanic that belongs in World of Warships. You can capture an island. You can capture a strategic point like a bridge. You cannot capture a piece of ocean. There's nothing there to capture. You can't defend it. If you sit in the target zone, you become a target. You become a target for airplanes, for other boats. You're not able to maneuver very far because, gee, guess what? It's ocean. There's nothing to hide behind. The mechanic of capture points is so stupid. And, ground forces, capture this zone. Why? What's there? What am I capturing? What am I going after to capture and defend? An arbitrary point on a map? Please, give me a reason. Why am I going there? Capture this town. You want to know? Go read a book. Go read Team Yankee. The book was written by Harold Coyle. There's actually an audiobook too. You can listen to the audiobook. But reading the book is actually much better because it actually has maps. It describes what they're doing. It describes why they're going from point A to point B on a map. Harold Coyle laid it out beautifully. I mean, Team Yankee, it's a short read. You could probably finish it up in a day. And the maps are spectacular. They show where the launch from, where they stopped, where they moved to next. That is how battles are fought. And Harold Coyle was an Army officer. He understands this stuff. Obviously, nobody at Gaijin has spent any time in the military proper doing anything worthwhile. They probably were conscripted, but they probably did wonderful things like shuffle papers in a back room. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. We could have a world-class tanker working for Gaijin who commanded a troop of Soviet tanks or Russian tanks, if he's young enough, and knows all the best tactics in the world, and I'll bet he looks at these maps with their capture points and goes, what sort of stupid is this? The game needs to pull its head out of the sand and get more realistic. Capture a bridge. A bridge is awesome. A bridge is awesome. It gives you a reason to go there, to stop the enemy advance. And if you can't capture it, you should be able to destroy it. That's what air assets are for. And I do not mean helicopters. Helicopters are nuisance assets. And especially with the oncoming AAA radar blah 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 systems. That Tunguska looks dangerous. But that's ground forces. Air forces should be there to take out assets, take out targets, take out strategic locations, take out bunker systems. We can't do that in air realistic. Oh, you got a pillbox? Right, okay, whatever. It's not working that way. We have weapon systems that are garbage, hitting targets that are too small. Oh, but, you sound like a motorboat. Ah, good coffee. Here's the thing. Fix air realistic. Fix the maps. Fix the missions. Get the missions and maps coordinated by battle rating, by tier. If I've got a tier 5 or tier 6 aircraft, I do not want to be flying on a useless map that's too small. And I won't fly on it. The Guam map, or as some people call it, the Hokkaido map, that is absolutely stupid at tier 5 and tier 6. Don't like flying it, won't fly it. The Britain map, absolutely stupid at any level below tier 4. Well, actually, stupid at any level above tier 4. And actually should be relegated to no more than tier 2 and low tier 3. It's too small a map. And there's really nothing to do. And the airfields are too close to one another. Now, the one that everyone bitches the most about, and I do mean it exactly the way I said it, is the English Channel map. Bourg-sur-Mer or whatever. I can't pronounce that French garbage name. And I know I butchered it, so deal with it. It's the English Channel map. You've only got AI bombers on the German side. Why not put in some AI bombers on the British side? Is that too difficult? Give the other team something to shoot at other than enemy aircraft. Give them some AI to go after. Well, they've got those ships out there. Yeah, right. Yeah. You can shoot at ships all day long and you aren't going to do diddly. And if you think you're going to get something, you're an idiot. You are a flat, flaming idiot. You might kill a couple of landing craft, but that'll be about it. Meanwhile, the Allied team comes in, drops a bunch of bombs, goes after your fighters, and one or two fighters go after those bombers. All one-sided. All one-sided. The only map that's worthwhile is the alternate history Spain map. There's ground targets that are worth going after. There's naval targets that are worth going after, and I don't mean the battleships or the carriers. Although, if we ever get ASMs, anti-shipping missiles, that might change. I wouldn't mind having, anti-shipping missiles to loft at some of these naval targets. That would be a case of wind it up, baby. I would definitely like to do that. And there's there are planes in the game right now that are going to be able to carry anti-shipping missiles. This is all in Gaijin's hands. They can choose to ignore everything and just go and do what they're doing, or they can get on with the program and upgrade these maps, these missions, to be worthwhile. Now, I'm not the only one saying this. Ash is saying this. The European Canadian is saying this. Fly Daily is saying this. The Orange Doom. I hardly see him anymore. A lot of players have just given up because Gaijin does not do its job. Like I said, there's only one real map and mission that's worth flying. One where it's balanced. Where you can go after a bunch of different targets. Without having to do dedicated air-to-air combat all the time. And I refuse to fly missions where that's all there is. It's stupid on steroids. And players who just keep playing the same old stupid on steroids missions deserve what they get. They get bored and they quit. They quit. They have no reason to keep putting money into the game. They have no reason to keep practicing at what they do. Even Jengar gets upset with the lack of advancement of the missions. Gaijin's got to get its act together and spend at least a full upgrade cycle doing nothing but maps and missions. A full upgrade cycle. Which means for 1.89, it should be absolutely nothing but maps and missions. No shinies, nothing. Maps and missions. Make the maps, make the big maps. You've got enough small maps. You've got enough medium-sized maps. You need big maps with a reason to fly. Here's a good example. The Afghanistan map is freaking large, freaking huge. But there's no destructible assets on the ground. Well, you can shoot tanks and vehicles and armored cars and shut up. Shut up. You can shoot them all day long, and it does not change the fact that the southern airfield wins if the eastern airfield does not kill all of the southern airfield's planes. It's that simple. There's bridges on that map you cannot destroy. I have hit them with 2,000-pound bombs, and they do not destroy. And I haven't flown the PE-8 with its 5,000 kilogram bomb and dropped it on the bridge to see if that will blow it up. But if I can hit it with a pair of 2,000-pound bombs and nothing happens, what makes you think a 5,000 kilogram bomb is going to do that? And it took me a lot of practice to finally hit that bridge dead on. But I hit it dead on. I hit it with rockets. I hit it with AGMs. I hit it with bombs. I hit it with cannon fire. And I cannot destroy the bridge. And that would stop an entire column of invaders. Period. But I can't do it. And then the southern team's ground forces, they have nothing impeding them. Nothing at all. It's just a straight drive across the countryside, and they win. Period. That's a map that needs a serious rejiggering. Well, but there's no but makes you sound like a motorboat. Shut up. Shut up and actually play the game. Because I'm sure that the developers are not playing the game. They may be playing it in-house, testing out this piece of equipment, that piece. You know, how does this work? Is this going to be to meta? But they're not playing the game against players. They're not doing it. If they were playing against everyday players, they would see how broken Air Realistic is. And it is severely broken. Like I said, one mission to fly in battle rating Tier 5 and Tier 6 planes. One. Uno. Possibly two. And no, Korea doesn't count as a second. Korea was actually designed for prop planes. Low tier jets, yeah, they can fit in there pretty good. But as soon as you get into high tier 5, tier 6, it's broken. Broken. And that reminds me of another thing, because I see it all the time on the Russian airfield, where Russian planes turn and take off by running over the grass, which is, why aren't they incurring a damage penalty from not using the runway? Huh? Can you explain that, Gaijin? They should be incurring a damage penalty for doing that. Their landing gear should be taking damage. That happens on a lot of different maps. And it's absolutely obscene. Oh, well. It's obvious this is a very long rant, and it's a rant that actually has meaning to me, because I really love to play this game. No, 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 no. And that's only the ones that you can see here. That is a lot of wasted time trying to get into a match and just not having anything worth flying. It's very annoying when a game you want to play doesn't want you playing it. So what's the deal, Gaijin? Do you really want people to quit and go away? Is that your end goal? You want new players to come in, spend $50 for a plane, give them a little bit of gold, give them a little bit of premium time, and when the gold and the premium time are gone, bye-bye, see you, don't care if you come back. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like you're taking and shoving a stick in my eye and laughing while you're doing it. Subdude signing off.